condition, I think I explained you, and from here we have explained, right? And if condition, else condition we shown you already. So we'll be seeing from the for loop. Okay. Clear it all. So I'm becoming the root user. So I'm creating a file with the name for loop simple. So again, you know that the first thing we have to always write is the bash shell script, right? So cven comment you have to write /bin/bash. Maybe this background color will be not visible for you. So let me just do one thing. Okay. Now, after this, just we have to write the loop like for, okay, and can be anything, and it's just a variable name. You can write your name also. Okay, you can write something different also. Like take an example, I'm writing for user in list call. Basically, we given for list, right? So I said for loop, what you have to do is you have to print the username, okay, in the list called this one. I'm given the for name here, okay. And I'm saying what you have to do is you have to print echo dollar because this user is a variable, right? I said it. So you have to simply print dollar user because when you want to print the value of the variable, you have to always use the dollar symbol. And then you have to simply say, yes, my work is done. Okay. So user in Kishan, Roy, Jack, John, you have to print the dollar user. That means what they will print, they will in the first line they will print the Kishan, second line they will print the Roy, third line they will print the Jack, fourth line they will print John, something like this. If you want to print a little bit more about this, not only name, you want to print something like this also, that also you can do. Username, something like this also you can do. That will also make sense. You simply save this file. The first thing, give the power chmod 755 is a for loop simple / for loop dot simple. What they are printing? Okay, they are printing all the name in a single row. So that I don't want actually. Why they are printing in a single row? Okay, actually we given the comma, right? We have to give here a space actually. That is a mistake we done. So they are treated everything as a single name. Okay. But we want to create it as a different name, right? So we have to give the space separation, not the comma separation. Okay, so just give that in. So now there will be 4 different things. Now again, if I try to run, this time it will work great. Okay, now see they are sending the first username is Kisan, second username is Roy, third username is Jack, fourth username is getting this for loop.
Yeah. How can we get the count for this list?
Count means?
I mean, we have 4, right?
Okay.
In the list we have 4 variables. This is iterating 4 times, right? Can we get the count for this one?
Count for this, you can get it like this way, I think so. Just so this is the output of the screen that you can pass it to this one. Word count -i. They will give you the code.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, pipeline
Yeah.
symbol and then give this word count -i. Okay, so now see, you maybe some of you will be thinking then why we are printing this, right? What is the use case of this? But just think like this. There are 4 users, right? And I want to create every user. Like for Kisan, I want to create a different username. For Roy, I want to create a different username. For Jack, different username. For John, different username. So if whenever we want to create a user, we are always using the command called user add. All of you remember that? User add, and then I will write the Kisan, then it will create a user with the name Kisan. Is this making sense? This line?
Yeah.
In the last Linux class itself, in the lecture 4, we discussed about it. Okay. And once the user is created, where we'll be able to see, anybody remember the file name /etc/ In which file we can see all the users? Do you remember?
Root user
There was a file name,
bin,
right?
bin, right?
No, no. Slash password file was there, right?
Okay.
And inside this, we are getting inside. Currently, only EC2 user is there inside this machine. Okay. But now you'll see, if what I can do is I can go inside this loop, and here I will say what you can do is you can first print the username and then create a user. So we have to hit the command called user add $user, right? What this command will do is that will create the user. First, it will create a user with the name Kisan, then Roy, then Jack, and then John. Everything in a single loop. I will save this file. Now, if somebody is running this loop, so they are printing Kisan, Roy, Jack, John. That's well and good. But what they done in the background is they created 4 users also. Kisan, Roy, Jack, John. Right? So like this way, whatever the Linux command you want to run it, you can run it. Okay, it's totally on you. How you want to add it, you can add the user, how you can add the group, everything. And I already shown you, right? If you don't want to print the username from here, okay, and you want to give the input from itself from directly from the command line itself, so you can give simply a $1, $2, $3. So you can give 3 input now. Okay. So now I can save it. Now, if I want to create, somebody saying me, can you create a user with the name called employee1? So I will simply write here employee1. That's all. And they will create a user with the name employee1 to verify, read this file, and see here employee1 user got it. How easy it is. If somebody is saying me that there is 3 more employees joined in this company, their name are employee2, employee3, and employee4. Can you create that? Since I given the $1, $2, $3, so 3 input, they can easily take it. So I will do, so 3 input they are printing. Now if I do cat/etc/password, so 3 more user got it. So how easy it is with the help of the scripting. Okay, so whenever new user you have to create, you can always come it. If you want to give the input more than 3, then you have to come here and you have to edit this file. And here $3, you can write $4, $5 like that here. So this is the thing for the for loop simple one. Now, if you want to print everything from the by incrementing the value, okay. So to do this, like take an example, I'm creating a file with the name for loop range .sh, and the first line you have to always write is event command, and I'm writing for. You can write any variable name here. Either you can write n here, or you can write for num. Okay, num is just a variable here. For num in, okay, and I want to print the value from 1, okay, to 10. So I will write 1 to 10 like this way. Okay, it will start the counting from 1 and it will into 10. And I'm saying what you have to do is you have to print echo. What is my variable name num? So $num and that. So what they will do is they will print like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this way. They will be keep going. So simply do the chmod 755 for loop range dot slash for loop range. See, they printed 1 to 10 like this one. So since we retain this from 4 num in 1 to 5, then it will print 1 to 5 like this one. Similarly, if somebody want that currently it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 like this way, right? Incrementing the value by 1. But what I want to do is I want to start the counting uh, from 1 and I want to go to 50. Okay, and I want to increment of 5. Okay, so I will do .5. So now they will not increment with the value called 1 by default, they will increment with the value called 5. So now if somebody is going to run this command again, so see, first 1 is printing, then plus 5, 6, plus 5, 11, plus 5, 16 like this way, 46. After 46, they will do the plus 5, that will be 51, that is more than 50, but I said to print up to 50 only. So they printed up to 46. Okay, so this is increment of 5. Similarly, with this increment type only, if you want to write the tables, okay, so you can write the tables also. Like take an example, if you want to write the multiples of 17, right? So I can simply write here 17. The last multiple I want to go for 170, right? So I can go for 170 here. And in the 17 table, increment will be of 17 itself, right? So that's why first will be 17, then 34, then 51, like this. So simply just save this and run this. See, tabular is form is created. So just a loop 17, 34, 51, 68, like this way up to 1. So any confusion in this for loop? Okay, I've shown you the increment with some number also. And by default, if you don't write anything, it will increment by 1. Now we are talking about the while loop. While loop say that please give me a condition. Once that condition will be satisfied, then only I will work, else I will not work. Okay. What is the meaning of this? So let me just show you in the Python compiler. And here, if I'm writing something like this, that taken value, like, take an example, I'm writing count is equal to 0 for now. Okay. And I'm saying that while count is equal to count is less than 10, what you have to do is you have to print. Now tell me if I'm going to run this command, okay, how many times high will be printed? Anybody? What do you think? That how many times this high is going to be printed if I'm going to run this?
I mean, only one time.
Only one time. Any other answer? Anybody?
Yeah, 10 times.
10 times. Okay. Any other answer? Okay. Why you said only one times?
I mean, count less 0 less than 10.
0 less than 10 years. Then it will print
Oh,
high.
yeah. I mean, 0 means it is less than 10, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it is kind of it working for scenario. Scenario is correct. So it will go the next line.
Okay. And
The
will it
value.
not come back? What is the use of while? While is basically it will keep repeating the statement
Yeah,
until and unless the.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
correct.
so how
I
many
mean,
times
we
it
have
should I iterate?
infinite.
Yeah,
I
it
think
will be
so.
infinite times
Yeah.
because 0 will be always be less than 10, right?
Yes.
So if I'm going to run this, it will be printing the infinite times. Currently, this is the online compiler, so they have a limit of 50 or 200, something like this. That's why after that it stopped printing. But exact same, if I try to run in my local machine, it is going to hang my system. Okay, because it will be keep printing. So now what I want to achieve is, I will say that, okay, first count will be 0. Then you have to check 0 is less than 10. If it is true, then you have to print high. Once you print high, then what you have to do is the next value of the count you have to do is equal to count is equal to count plus 1. Is this making sense? So first
Yeah,
count
right.
value is 0. Now it will be 0 plus 1. It will be 1. 1 is less than 10. Yes, then it will again print high. And the count will be 1 plus 1, that is 2. Again, they will check 2 is less than 10. And they will be keep checking until 9 is less than 10. Okay. Once 9 is less than 10, they will print the high. Then 9 plus 1, it will be 10. So 10 less than 10, it is not true statement. Then they are going to come up. Okay.
Yes.
So if I'll run this, now they are going to print it. Okay. And if somebody is getting confused with printing high, so simply print the count here now. So you'll get the problem of how it is solving this. Not count basically. We have to keep it outside the double quote. Then only it will print the value. Yeah. So they started the counting from 0. Then second time count 0 plus 1, 1. So they printed 1, 2 like this way, and it went up to 9. Because after 9 plus 1, it will 10, and 10 less than 10 is not true. So it is going to come out of this. So this is the condition of while. Until and unless this condition is getting satisfied, they will be keep iterating. So exactly same while loop if you want to access here in the cell scripting. So first you have to create a file with the name while loop.sh. Inside this file, the first thing you have to write is the cden command. Similarly, here I am also creating a value called count is equal to 0 to make you understand. Okay, while loop, then I'm writing a square bracket. Then you have to write the dollar count because count is variable here, so they have to access. So I'm comparing is 0 if when the value of count will be less than LT is for the less than 10, then what you have to do is you have to print echo dollar count exactly like that. Okay. Now I can do a is equal to a plus 1 also, like count is equal to count plus 1 I done in the Python. Okay, but I cannot do like this way here. Okay, so here either you can do like this dollar count plus 1. Okay, either you can write like this, so it will do the count plus 1 side, or if you don't know about this things, what you can do is simply save this file up to here. Let me show you. There is a command in the Linux called expr. Okay. And in the expr command, if I'll give a space and I will say 5 plus 4, so what they will give the answer 9. So if I want to do calculate some value, mathematical calculation, expr, I want to add and subtract 6 minus 4. So see, they are giving us the answer. So you can do the mathematical calculation with the help of the expr command. So exactly same expr command we can use it here. So I'm saying simply count. What you have to do is you have to run the expr command. That's why I have to keep it inside the back code. This is not the single code. This is back code. Okay. You have to write the command called expr dollar count because we have to give the value of the count, and then you have to add plus 1 inside. That is only thing closed with the back code and simply set done. Once my work is done, now they will do the keep counting the value. Okay, and it is going to print up to 9. Chmod 755 while loop dot sh dot slash while loop dot something is missing. Okay. Goodness. Okay, here we did not given the space actually. After this 10, there should be a space. Okay, simply save this file, run this. And see, they are saying also there is a missing something at this file bracket. But now see, this time they printed 0 to 9. So whatever the things we done in the Python, exactly same way we done it here. But here you cannot do directly count plus 1. In place of that, you have to use the expr symbol. That is the only extra thing we done. This is everything exactly like that. So like this way, you can run the while loop. Now we are going to understand the concept of function. Okay. So anybody here know already about the function in any programming language?
I mean in Java methods, right?
Yeah, in Java it is known as method. Yeah, that's correct.
Methods, yeah.
So yeah, a function or method is just like a formula, right? Where we write the formulas and we can do the work as per our use cases. Okay. So take an example. If I am creating a file here, function.sh, and before that, if somebody wants that to show it in the Python also, so in Python simply to create a function, you have to use a command called def. Okay. And you can create a function with the name hello. Okay. Inside this, if you want to enter some name, take an example, and you are saying that print. What it is going to print. Okay. So currently if I'll run it, it is not going to print anything. It will be empty because this is inside the function and we did not call the function or we did not call the formula. But if I'll come here, if I'll call this function hello, and inside this function I am giving my name, then what it should print is it will print welcome like this. What they done is when I'm calling this function hello, okay, so inside this I'm giving a value called Kisan. This Kisan value is getting stored in this variable called name. Okay. Now when I'm printing welcome, so they printed the welcome as it is, then there is a space, then they printed the name. Value of the name is Kisan, so they printed Kisan, and then they added the exclamation symbol. Okay. So if I want to print something different, so I will just change the name here. Okay. And I will print the run, and that output is going to different. So this thing we don't have to change. So this is just like a mathematical formula where you have a formula, just the value is going to be changed and your answer will be different. So whatever the name you are going to write it here, that will be printed here. If I'm writing Jack, so they will print the Jack here, like this. Similarly, in case of the Linux scripting, simply open the file function.sh, give the cgen command. Now I'm creating a function with the name hello. Give the space. Here you have to give the double smaller bracket. Okay, then you have to give the curly bracket, press enter. Then whatever the things you want to print, like if I want to print echo hello, and then I want to print the $1. Take an example, the name. Okay, whatever the name I am going to give it, and then I want to print the dollar symbol. Exactly like this, whatever I show you in the file. I'm not repeating this exact syntax because this you can practice it anywhere. Okay. So this one, and then after closing this function, hello function, you have to simply call this function, right? So whatever the name function you written here, if I written capital HE so here also you have to write capital HE. So whatever the name of function will be there, exactly same thing you have to write it. Then $1. So basically one input it can take, right? So if I'll write it here, Kisan. So what will happen is this Kisan is going to be taken as here, and they will print hello at Kisan and then dollar symbol. So simply save this file, give the chmod 755 function.sh /function.sh, and so it is printing hello. If somebody want to change to some different name or something, that also you can do. You can simply write it here hello. Boy. Okay, so I will save this file. So this time they are going to print like this way. So if you want to get two input, okay, so that also you can do here $1. After that you can write here $2 also after giving a space. Okay, something like this. And here you can now enter two, try and check. So they will print both the name. Save it. The hello also, like that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is called the function. Now there is there is another type of the function, that is the nested function. That means one function is calling the another function. Okay, what is the nested function looks like? So something look like this. So this is the first name hello. Okay, and I'm taking one more function. Take an example for serve. Okay. I'm giving the name here also as an input. Okay, and simply saying print. What you have to do is okay. So two function I created. Okay. Now what I can do is I can call this function like this also, right? Serve and listen. Now what they will do if I'll run it? So they will say serve. There is some mistakes here. Here we forgot to add the plus symbol. Okay, serving drink to Kisan they are saying, right? Similarly, if I want to call a function called hello also, hello Roy, something like this. They will say welcome serving drink to Kisan and welcome Roy. Because see, this function is calling this person and this function is calling this from this example, right? But I don't want to call these two functions separately, right? What I want to do is first they will do the hello to that particular person. So basically welcome. Then after welcoming that person, he will serve the drink, right? So that type of the things you want to do. So in that case, simply you can write here hello Kisan. So when I'm writing this hello Kisan here, if I try to run it, so currently they are just printing the welcome Kisan. But I don't want to do this. I want to serve the drink also after this, right? So inside this hello function itself, I am going to say that once this function work is completed, welcoming is completed, then what you have to do is you have to serve to the name function. That's all. Now if I run this, so now see, first they will welcome Kisan and then they will serve him drink to that. Okay, so basically this function, once its function work is completed, now they are calling the second function. And once this function is called, so they are printing this function. This example is known as the nested function, where one function is calling the another function. So is it clear this one? Any confusion in this?
Yeah.
So exactly same thing if you want to achieve in the bash scripting. So again, you have to create a file with the name called nested function and cven command. So take an example, if I want to create the exactly same function, like whatever I shown you there. So first we created a function called hello. I'm just writing like this. And I'm printing here echo welcome. Just give me a second. Let me just quickly check. Is it anything different there or is it same? Just check. This is for the normal. It did not given any samples. Input. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Because whatever the example I have, here we did not given the input. Just I want to check. Okay, so they are calling with the $1 itself. They are not directly calling like in the Python. So we can't do anything. So we have to write like this to the welcome $sign and then the dollar symbol, exclamation symbol like this. And after once this is done, so what they will do is they will call the serve function. Okay. This function will be closed. And in the serve function, I want to write echo serving when $sign. And this will be the closed. Now if I want to call the function hello and giving the name as defined. So this is a function exactly we created. Here they are calling the serve function. Let me check whether it is working or not. Let's node 755 the nested function dot slash nested function. Okay, first input they are taking, the second input they are not taking. Okay, so here I think we have to write so. So here also you have to write $1, then it will go. Let me just save this. Now this will work. So basically, in this you cannot directly give the input as a Python variable. Okay, in the Python we can directly give the input like this, name like this. This name we are just replacing with the $1. Okay, so in place of here I written $1 and here also I written the $1 inside this syntax also. This name just replaced with the $1 here and here also. Okay, and that's exactly same thing we are doing. So $1 is basically treated as the first word that we are entering here, and they are giving it. So I think this is simple only. You'll be able to understand. Any confusion in this syntax? Anybody? Just try to see this and this. Both are giving the exactly same output. It is
Yeah.
serving.
Yes.
So this is the example of a normal nested instance. And as I seen in this document also, we cannot pass this like this because that person also tried to pass like this, but it was not available. Okay. So they are saying that you have to pass like this. Okay. Then only it is going. So this is a thing. No any other mention I'm seeing here. Everywhere they are using the $1 only. So yeah, that is only. So this is the nested function. Okay. You can try this example also. This is without any variable or something. Now, two more commands you have to understand. So the first command again, how to read the file using the bash script. Okay. So to understand this file, what we are going to do is, so till now there are this many files we created. I am creating one more file with the name called abc.txt. Okay. I'm creating a file with the name abc.txt. Inside this file, I'm writing some content. Okay, so I written and I am simply doing the control. So this is the content of the file abc.txt. Okay. Now, if somebody is saying you can you read the file abc.txt, so you can simply say yes, I can read the file using the command called abc.txt. And you are reading the file well and good. Okay. But if I'm telling you, can you read this file with the help of the bash script? So for that, what you have to do is you have to create a file called readfile.sh. Inside this, the first thing you have to write is the cln command. And after this, you have to create a variable with the name file name. And in our case, our file name is abc.txt. So that I can simply write it here. Okay. And if you know that your file name can be different, so you can simply use the $1 symbol. And whenever you want to run that script, that time you can give that file name abc.txt or whichever the file you want to read it. Okay. And they will read it one by one. So you don't have to worry. But currently we are reading the file abc.txt. So that's why I'm hard coding it, but you can use the $1 symbol here also. Okay. Now I can simply see here that echo so to look at little bit good, that's why I'm writing here echo. Simply I'm saying that what you have to do is you have to run the command cat. Okay, after doing this, simply they have to run the command cat abc.txt. So, but rather than writing the abc.txt, I'm simply saying $file name. So automatically they will take the value abc.txt and they will run. If I run this script, what is going to happen is chmod 755 read file.sh read file. So they are saying read file using cat command, and with the help of the cat command, they are printing as it is, right? Well and good. But this is the so simple that anybody can directly use the cat command also to read file. Why they will create a script or something. But the script benefit will be that when you added the $1 symbol there, so here only you can mention that abc.txt or a.txt, whatever the file you want to. Okay, and that file they will read it. But now my goal is not like this. I don't want to read the file like this. Okay, my goal is something like this. Okay. So rather than printing Python, Java, C++, Go like this, I want to print like this. And it should print Python. Okay. Then it should print line number 2. And it should print Java, something like this. It will be keep going. Line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, like that. Until and unless all the line will be completed. Is this making sense? What we want to print? I want to print something like this. Line number 1, line number 2, line number 3. But currently, I don't know how many total number of lines will be there. It can be 10, it can be 15. It totally depends on the file size. So if you don't know the size of the file, okay, that how many lines are written inside the file. So which loop is going to help us? For loop or the while loop? Anybody?
For
If you
loop.
don't, for loop will have the fixed number, right?
Yeah,
While loop will be keep running until the condition is satisfied, right?
satisfied. Yeah,
Until and unless they are not reading all the line, they will be keep running. So while loop will make sense there, okay? Because we
okay.
don't know na, total 7 line is going to be there or total 10 lines will be there. For loop will be helpful when we know that only 3 user I want to create or 4 user I want to create, right? But
Okay.
when we want to go with this while loop type of the thing, so it will be better. So we'll be
Okay.
using the while loop there. So simply edit this file, read file.sh. And after reading the file using the cat command, I'm printing one more thing here. Echo. So simply separating this from here. And I am printing echo. Read file using while and echo. Again, something like this separation. Okay. And now how to read this file using the while loop. So while loop, so the first thing what we are going to see, the first number will be 1, right? The first line will be always start the counting from 1, not from 0, right? So I'm creating a variable n and I'm storing the value as 1. Okay, so n is equal to 1. And I'm saying here that while loop, what you have to do is you have to read the line. Okay, you have to read the line. Once you try to read the line, then you have to do some work. What work you have to do? You have to print echo line number. Okay, and then you have to print line number 1, right? So I cannot write 1 here. You have to write $n. Is this making sense? Line number 1. So that means n value will be, they will print it here. And then you have to print whatever the output will be stored of this line, like whatever the thing you are reading in the line, that you have to print it here. That's it. So when you print the $n, right? N is equal to 1. So next time when you run this loop, so n value should be not 1, n value should be 1 plus 1, that is 2. Is this making sense? The next time n value will be n plus 1. So I said you either you can write it n is equal to $n plus 1, or you can use the expr command. Both the way. Expr command I already shown you. Okay. Now you can use this also. This is the also way by which you can add n is equal to n plus 1. So now the value of n will be 2 this way. And from which file you will be reading it. So I'm saying that you have to read this file. If you remember, I said you that the a smaller than is the symbol which will help us to read the file. You remember in the Linux class I explained you all of them. That cat greater than symbol is helping us to write the file. Actually read and reading the file is helping us the smaller symbol. Remember all of you? We discussed it, right? In the cat command class.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is the thing. So I'm saying that you have to read the file, but which file name? So I'm not directly giving the abc.txt, I'm giving the dollar file name. So they will take the value from the abc.txt. So now this entire loop, what they are doing is they are saying that I will read the file from this particular file name, okay, each line, and then I will print line number 1, and then whatever the content of the line will be there, Python, then Java, then C++, like this, so they will keep going. Simply save this file, run this script, and see it is clearly printing. First, this is the simple that is using the cat command. This is with the value. So they are printing line number 1, line number 2, like this way. As soon as somebody is adding some extra line here inside this read file, not read file, abc.txt file, and I am adding few more like C, and give an example, we are adding few more HTML, CSS, and simply do the same. And now run this read file as such again. So see, automatically from 7 they printed up to 10 also now this, because they know that there are 3 more line added. So until and unless all the line will be not completed, this while loop will be keep going and they will be reading the line. That's why we written while loop to read the line. And each line they are reading it. And now we are easily able to see if somebody is saying me PHP is written in which line, I can simply see okay, PHP is written in line minus 6. Like this way we can do it. So it's totally on you how you want to use this as scripting everything. Okay, there are so much modification we can do. And the last example is how to write anything inside the file with the help of the bash scripting. So simply you can create a file. Take an example. What I want to do is I want to create a file with the name date.sh. Okay, normal thing. Inside this file, I am writing the cven command. And what I want to achieve is whenever somebody will run, okay, this is script. So date command output should be added in the date.txt file. Okay, so this file should not do anything. What they will do only is they will run the date command, and whatever the output will come, they will save it in the date.txt file. That is the only thing. Now, if I'll do ls here, currently there is no file with the name date.txt is there. Okay, so first I am doing the chmod 755 with the date.sh. But as soon as I am running this file, date.sh, you'll see that a new file will be created with the name date.txt. A file with the name date.txt got created. If somebody will read this file, they will see this content. One time date command output is coming. If somebody will run that script one more time, now what will happen? 2 times date command will be written inside this. If somebody will run this script one more time, 3 times. So as soon as you are running this script one more time, that output will be added inside this file. Okay. So like this way, you can add multiple output command also inside this file. And whenever you will run this script, that will be stored in this particular file. Okay. And this file, you can share it to anybody whenever you want to share the output of your commands, whatever you are running in the Linux. So like this way, you can practice it. Scripting basic idea I given you. Now, as more and more Linux command you are going to learn, more and more automation you can do. Okay, I can show you that with the help of the for loop, how you can create the multiple users. Similarly, you can write the command called mkdir. It will create multiple directory also with the exactly same name. So like this way, you can keep doing it. Okay. So yeah, that's all for the Linux scripting from my side. Okay. And we covered the Linux part in this. So if you have any question, you can ask.